In this chapter, we're going to start off by looking at solving equations by adding or subtracting. A solution of an equation is a value of the variable that makes the equation true. In order to solve an equation, you want to try to isolate the variable, which would most likely be x. So we're going to look at an example of this. X minus 10 equals 4. So you want to isolate the x. So you want to start off by adding 10 to both sides. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So if we add 10 to the x minus 10 side, we get 0, so it becomes just x, equals, if we add 10 to the 4 side, we get 14. So we can see that x equals 14, and we can check this. Now, all we have to do to check this is plug in the 14 for x. So 14 minus 10 equals 4. So you can see that it works and solves the problem properly. We're going to look at another example of solving equations by using addition. Here we have 2/5 equals m minus 1/5. Again, you want to isolate the variable, which in this case is going to be m. So in order to get m by itself, you have to add 1/5 to the right side. And if you add to the right side, you have to add to the left side. So the right side now becomes m minus 0, so you can just forget about the 0. And the left side becomes 3/5. So m equals 3/5. And now we want to check this answer. So we're going to plug 3/5 in for m. So 2/5 equals 3/5 minus 1/5. And we can see that this is equal because 3/5 minus 1/5 does indeed equal 2/5. Now we're going to solve an equation using subtraction. So our example is going to be x plus 7 equals 9. Again, we want to isolate the variable, so we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. So if we subtract 7 from the x plus 7 side, we're going to end up with just x, because positive 7 minus 7 equals 0. And then if we subtract 7 from the 9, we're going to end up with 2. So we can see that x equals 2, and now that we want to check the answer, so we're going to plug the 2 back into the original equation as x. So we have 2 plus 7 equals 9. And we can see that this statement is true, so our answer is correct. Now we're going to look at properties of equality. The first property is addition property of equality. You can add the same number to both sides of an equation and the statement will still be true. So let's look at an example. 3 equals 3. Right now both sides are equal. If I add 2 to one side and I add 2 to the other side, both sides are still going to remain equal and be 5 equals 5. Okay, now subtraction property of equality. You can subtract the same number from both sides of an equation and the statement will still be true. So let's look at an example of this. 7 equals 7. If I was to subtract 5 from both sides, we can see that the statement is still going to be true because 2 equals 2.